What's going on, guys? It is Aiden Hutchinson.
What's up, man? It's your boy Amon St. Brown.
What's up, everybody? It's Calvin Johnson Jr. here, a.k.a. Maxx Crosby, a.k.a. First Ballot.
What's going on, Coach Dan at Lions Talk Live and the Duke Crew? This is Ball Hawk Ifeatu Melifonwu of the Detroit Lions. Everybody make sure you help support the YouTube channel Lions Talk Live by clicking that like and subscribe button. Let's get it and go Detroit.
Greetings and salutations to everyone out there in YouTube land. This is Dan Skipper, offensive weapon for the Detroit Lions. Make sure you all help support Lions Talk Live and Coach Dan by clicking on that like and subscribe button. Everybody, woo!
All right, well, greetings and salutations to everybody out there in YouTube land. I am your host once again, Dan Thornton, and I want to thank you all for joining me here today. A Lions Talk Live morning show edition. And you know what? We've got a little bit of news. I know some of you guys messaged me yesterday about Aaron Glenn signing with the New York Football Jets. And yes, we'll dive into that a little bit today. Sorry I couldn't get it out to you sooner. Just, hey, actually I had to coach my team yesterday and that news broke right when we were going into practice. So I couldn't quite get to it. So we'll get into that. We'll get into the main topic of the day. And as you can see from the thumbnail, you know, Maxx Crosby has a podcast. He does talk about a lot of different things. He does seem to sometimes send out conflicting information. And yes, I know a number of you guys mentioned that to me also yesterday. So we'll dive in all those things and maybe just a little bit more in today's episode of Lions Talk Live. So real quick, before we get into that, before we get into the 5 headlines now and everything in between, if you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so. Making that march to get on over to 13,000 subs. And we're about 71 subs away. So if you can help out with that, that would be great. Also, if you have a free second of time, reach on down, hit that thumbs up button, hit that like button. As you guys know, it helps the channel out exponentially. So we try to get every episode between 200, 300, 400 or more thumbs up or likes. So if you have a free moment, please consider reaching on down and hitting that button. All right, with all that said and done out of the way, one more thing. Oops, I almost forgot. If you are looking for something to read maybe during this winter season, go ahead and get over to Amazon.com or wherever you find good reading literature and order Kajora book. It is the first of a 9-part series. If you like Native American and Asian mythology, religion, etc., this is a fictional story based around some historical facts. You might want to check it out. Take a half second of time. You can read the description over there on Amazon or again, wherever you find good reading literature. Check it out. The second book comes out later this year. So if you enjoy the book, like to read, go ahead and consider leaving a kind review. All right, with all that out of the way, now we can get over to the first segment of the day. And as you know, that is 5 headlines now. All right, 5 glorious headlines now coming at you, and I think we got some interesting ones here today. First one, Lions issued stark warning about upcoming season by Nathan Doherty of the Heavy. So Doherty thinks, the Lions' chances of repeating what they did this past year is a little slim, and I think most of us agree, matching a 15-win season is going to be tough to do. It's, the trend is your friend, as I always like to say, and every year the DC brand homes have been here. You know what? The trend, it has been our friend. We've gotten better and better with every cooperating season or following season. That being said, Nathan Doherty, I think, is spot on that the Lions are going to be not only just sought after this year, they are being challenged by having so many people amongst their staff being acquired by other teams. The fact that both coordinators are now somewhere else in the head coaching position, and you're getting some of the sub-coaches now starting to be picked apart too. I think the Lions are going to have a lot of challenges. This will be a critical offseason, in my opinion. Who you bring in to be the next DC or OC is going to matter. And it would be my opinion, doesn't mean this is what the Lions are going to do. It would be my opinion to want somebody who's already been there and done that, already has experience in it. I think the risk you run in that scenario, though, as Doherty points out, is that if you don't hire from within, the chances of now some of these people like, Kelvin Shepard or somebody else, maybe, Hank Fraley moving on to take other spots, I think it increases. Those guys want to advance their careers. I understand why you'd be hesitant to elevate some of those guys to your offensive coordinator or defensive coordinator just because they haven't done it before. But then again, it's a double-edged sword. If you don't do it, you're probably losing them, and that's where I think, man, let's hope that doesn't come to pass. All right, Lions news. Owner Sheila Hamp-Ford offers optimistic message to Detroit. SB Nation, story by Jeremy Risman. I think Jeremy Risman and Sheila Hamp are both spot on with this. She thinks, hey, this is the time for the Lions to be proactive, be aggressive, make big moves, make big splashes, really try to push this team over the top. I'm going to ask you guys, Do Crew, let me in the comments section, let me know your thoughts. If the injuries, the rash of injuries, do not happen to this defense, where do you think the Lions season would have went? Do you think they would have won the Super Bowl? Do you think they would have lost the Super Bowl? Do you think they would have made the NFC title game? Let me know in the comments section, because that seems to be where Sheila Hamp is going with things. She thinks the team was good enough to win the Super Bowl this year, and I agree. If you don't have 50 billion different injuries on the defensive side of the ball, I do think the Lions would have won the Super Bowl. I do think Aaron Glenn would not have had to blitz so much, leave so much single high coverage in the secondary, leave everybody on the island, so to speak. And yes, I think the Lions probably would have beat the Commanders. They probably would have beat, Philadelphia in the NFC title game. And yes, they would have won to the Super Bowl and win. That's my opinion. What's your opinion? Sheila Hamp's opinion is that would have happened. She understands the Lions went through some injuries. She also understands they're facing some challenges this offseason. She's in the mode or the mindset that she's all in it to win it. She says we're pushing all of our chips into the middle of the table and saying, hey, we're going for it this year. I think that's what also kind of ties into the main topic of the day with Maxx Crosby. No, and just so you guys know, Maxx Crosby doesn't specifically say the Detroit Lions when he mentions, hey, maybe it's time for me to depart the Raiders. But with that being said, it does tie in with Sheila Hamp. I think your window is here. I think you still have 2 or 3 years left on this window, assuming you don't make some real splash moves in the draft and acquire some real home run guys. If that happens, then you know what, the window goes longer. But Sheila Hamp, sounds like the checkbook's open. If Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell want to go do it, she's giving them the okay to go do it. All right, New York Jets hire Aaron Glenn, Detroit Lions defense coordinator, as next head coach. Story by Dave Burkett of the Detroit Free Press. Again, apologies for not being able to get this over yesterday. I did 3 videos yesterday. Took off from my team's practice. We're prepping after being snowed out or froze out or whatever this week. Had a game canceled because of the weather. We've got our first game back in about a week, Friday. Team's getting ready, by the way. Anyways, I had to focus on that. But when the news hit, I think it's a huge win for Aaron Glenn. It is a huge win for the Detroit Lions. The fact that, again, you've got 2 coordinators that are now head coaches. When's the last time, if ever, you can remember Detroit Lions coaches now being picked up and sought after to be head coaches? It's hard to even remember in my lifetime a former head coach of the Detroit Lions getting a second chance to be a head coach in the NFL, let alone coordinators being sought after. Aaron Glenn, I think he brought a lot to the table for the Detroit Lions. I also get a lot of fans did not like him because, we gave up 50 points, 60 points, whatever it is you want to say. The Lions defense, whether it was because of the injuries, whether it was because of play calling, I guess we'll find out this upcoming season with whoever takes over. The other aspect is Aaron Glenn's hire will bring in 2 third-round picks for the Detroit Lions. 1 this year, 1 in 2026. So once we had a vacant, no pick in the 3rd round, now we do. Now we do have a 1st, 2nd, etc. We'll go over all the draft picks later on. But, hey, I'm going to just say give a shout-out to Aaron Glenn, whether you liked him or disliked him. Be thankful for what he did here in Detroit. He gave it his all. You know what? Now he's got a chance to prove himself in perhaps one of the toughest markets, toughest franchises in the NFL. I'm glad to see they gave him a 5-year deal because my guess is it's going to be a tough ride for him, especially if he's intrinsically tied to Aaron Rodgers for another year. All right, Detroit Lions, Terry Arnold, quote, I'll be the best cornerback in the league pretty soon, end quote. This is from AL.com, so Alabama.com. I think he might be closer to being accurate than most of us realize. If you watch his progression his rookie year, and again, I can only speak from my experience, your opinion, it doesn't have to be mine. It can be completely different. I do think Terrion Arnold is going to be a pretty dang good corner in the league. Let me ask you guys, Do Crew, in the comments section, if you had to say Terrion Arnold will be a top 10, top 20 cornerback, or whatever you got, throw it in the comment section. I'd be interested to see what your expectations are for him next year. In my opinion, he's going to be probably close to a top 10, 15-ish type corner. I like what I saw out of him, and especially his growth and development last year. We all get it at the start of the year. He's matched up against future Hall of Famer Cooper Kupp, got called for, 79 holdings on the first drive. It wasn't great, but he was a rookie cornerback. You look at how most rookie cornerbacks typically do in their NFL rookie campaigns, it's not great. And the fact he was out there starting, and when he left the field, we clearly noticed the drop-off. I think that's compelling information. It would be interesting to me to see how much he really jumps forward next year. If you guys remember Ray Crockett or, Terry Fair or Darius Slade when they were in Detroit, these were some pretty good players. All of them really struggled their first and second year. In my opinion, Arnold is clearly ahead of all of them after one season in the NFL. He's got some work to do to maintain that. Ray Crockett, I think he's not a Hall of Famer type cornerback, but he was a perennial All-Pro. Darius Slade, kind of the same breath there. Terry Fair, not exactly that. Terry Fair is probably going to forever be remembered for being the guy drafted before Randy Moss. So, yeah, the Lions could have had Randy Moss. All right, Ben Johnson could lure a top assistant coach to the Bears. Story by Alyssa Barbary of the Bears Wire. She's all over this, and we've been speculating about this for a little bit this week. Ever since he was hired, Ben Johnson was hired to be the Bears head coach. We all get it. There's a real strong opportunity for some other Lions sub-assistant coaches to head on over to Chicago. I anticipate it's going to happen. This particular story of Bears Wire, as Hank Fraley heading on over to be with the Chicago Bears, I hope that doesn't come to pass. I think we all like the guy. I think we all think he's potentially in the running to be the offensive coordinator here in Detroit. If I'm Dan Campbell, I think that's where I'm at with things. You probably have to face some difficult choices, I think, with Fraley and I think with Shepard. You either elevate them to the OC and DC, or they probably are donezo and gonzo. Whether or not Shepard goes to the Jets, I don't know, but I could see a tie between Glenn and Shepard. Say, hey, he already knows what he likes to do. Shepard already knows what Glenn likes to do. It would probably be an easier fit there. And same with Fraley. I think if I'm Ben Johnson, I probably want to bring in someone like him because I understand the Bears' offensive line stinks. I also understand that Fraley spent a couple seasons with me in Detroit. Me getting him up to speed, what I want to do doesn't take a whole lot. So I could see this going down if Dan Campbell isn't of the mindset that I want to promote both of these guys to their respective offensive or defensive coordinator spots. All right, with all those out of the way now, let's go ahead and get on over to the main topic of the day. It'll be interesting to see what you guys have to say about this one. All right, main topic of the day. It feels like we're always talking about this, so I was kind of even hesitant to do today's story on it. But you know what? I also know that about 5 or 6 of you guys messaged me about this story yesterday when it came out. I was like, all right, fine, we'll dive into it. It is the offseason. We are looking for stuff to talk about, so it does kind of fit in. It also brings up a good point if you're the Detroit Lions. Really, you got what Sheila Hamp said yesterday or the day before about kind of being all in it to win it, getting after things. Maxx Crosby, he does not list the Detroit Lions as the team he wants to go play for, but he does go ahead and talk about wanting to be potentially out of Raidersville just because they don't have a head coach. They don't have a direction. He clearly is in the mindset that it's a rebuild. And this is from the Sporting News. Dyer Sharma, who covers the Raiders, goes in and talks about it in his podcast. Let me bring it up. There's a quote here. Oh, boy, I lost my spot here. Let me slide on down. All right, here's the quote. Quote, obviously, there's a lot of decisions to be made, Crosby said on his podcast yesterday. Quote, on a personal level, I got to make a decision that's best for me. I'm going to see. We don't know what the coach or front office is going to look like here. There's going to be a lot of changes, end quote. New quote. I'd like to be somewhere where I felt we have an opportunity to win. I don't know if I've had that here in a while. We keep talking about change. We keep focusing on change, but has there really been change? Question mark. In the couple years I've really been here, I'd like to say I've met some good people. I've got nothing but love for my teammates, but as far as winning, I don't see that happening anytime soon, end quote. So We talked about it last year. The Lions, were tied to him in some trade talks. It didn't happen. We all get it. Could Crosby be a Lion? Could he be anywhere other than the Raiders? I think that's probably the more compelling question to me. You guys can have your own takes. My thinking is, if I'm the Raiders, do you really think you're changing things around, like exponentially changing things around? And now you're in the playoffs, or battling with the Chiefs for the top seed in your division, let alone the conference. I think it's going to take a bit of time for that to go down. So if that's being said, if that's true and accurate, then you know what? Crosby in 3 years from now, he's probably not the Maxx Crosby you have right now. His best value is probably right about now. So if that's true, you probably are looking to consider trading him. I'm not saying they are going to trade him. I'm saying you would probably want to consider it, because I do think his value isn't going to go higher. It's going to go lower with every season that passes. So, Duke Crew, if Crosby was to get out of Raidersville, do you want him? I guess so. Why for yes and for no in the comments section. My anticipation is I think the Lions are going to look to get something better than Zadarius Smith at end, whether it's in the draft, whether it's in free agency. I don't know. We've got roughly $60 million in cap. We've got 52 players under contract already for the upcoming season. So Brad Holmes, per Sheila Ford Hamp, she's giving Brad Holmes and MCDC every opportunity. They want to go do something this offseason, go do it. I got the checkbook. It's open. You know what? I'm going to make the payments. Clearly, we all know that the ticket prices at Ford Field have gone up. Yes, they did lose out on the NFC title game, but they still did get a playoff game that brought in 60. I think it was the final projections were right around $65 million to Detroit, and not all that goes to the Lions, but some of it does go to the Lions through concessions, ticket prices, sales, etc. So the Lions are really in an economic boom right now. It would be my anticipation that's not changing this upcoming season. You're probably going to have the Lions on probably 4 or 5, maybe 6 primetime games, so they're going to get some premium revenues as well. If the Lions really want to make this thing happen as far as going to the Super Bowl, they probably do need to. This is the time to make a splash play or two. Whether or not that's Maxx Crosby, I don't know. I don't really care. I trust in Brad. I trust in MCDC. I just think the time is now to go for it. If you feel like the Lions should just stick to the 28th pick and get a premium defensive end pass rusher there, let that be known. Let me know in the comments section. Throw it out there. I do think if the asking price isn't astronomical, through the roof, I probably would look to make a move, whether it's him or a similar one. My question is going to be, Aaron Glenn is gone. What type of defense are you going to run? And that's where I think the interesting conversation comes in, because you're going to have to make some adjustments. If you keep Kelvin Shepard as your defense corner, my assumption is there are going to be a lot of similarities between what Glenn did and what he did. I don't know that to be sure. Maybe he's like, man, I love Aaron Glenn, but you know what? Your defensive play calling, that's not for me. I don't know. I just don't know Shepard like that. But if he is elevated, I think you're doing it specifically to keep him and to keep some continuity there. So let's start with that. Let's assume that he wants to run a lot of the same stuff as what Aaron Glenn ran, what we've seen the last few years. Then bring in a Maxx Crosby makes more sense to me, I think, because you're going to rely ideally on more 4-man pressures. And you know what? We all get it. Crosby's going to get home. Ali McNeil, once he's healed up, is going to get home. Aiden Hutchinson is going to get home. DJ Reader, well, he's going to be there to stuff the run and occasionally get some pressure on a quarterback. That would open up a lot of things for those linebackers to drop more and more into coverage if you went for Crosby. And Crosby is listed as a pseudo linebacker's defensive end for the Raiders. Does he offer you some flexibility? Sure. Are you going to probably have him drop into coverage a lot? Probably not. He's probably there to kill the quarterback, and we all get it. That's his role. So what do you say, Duke Crew? Gee, go for Maxx Crosby if indeed they are going to look to part ways with him, if indeed he really does want out. I want to throw this out there too. In my opinion, I've kind of gotten, it feels like in the last year, mixed signals from Maxx Crosby. I think we all get he's a premium player in this league. He is a defensive dynamo, all that stuff. But it does feel like 1 week he says one thing, the next week he says something different. It just seems like, he comes back a lot of times to say, well, I didn't really mean it like that. But then, maybe I would be open to a trade. But you know what? I really love the Raiders. I don't ever want to leave. But you know what? Hey, maybe if I could play for that team, I would. So I don't know what to make of this. The story was one I wasn't probably ideally going to jump on today. But then again, it is the offseason. He has spoken. He has let himself be known. You can check out the story. Go ahead and Google it or whatever. Maxx Crosby, a Lion. I think Lions fans would go through the roof. Let's be honest. The idea of him opposite Hutchinson, this division, the NFC North, is going to be pretty dang jam-packed for the foreseeable future. Whether or not you think Ben Johnson can resurrect the Bears and turn them from a 4-win team into an 8-win team or 12-win team, I'll leave that to you guys. But let's also be fair. The Minnesota Vikings are going to probably be pretty good this year. The Green Bay Packers pretty good this year. The Detroit Lions schedule is, as I think we're all anticipating, it's going to be a tougher one. So you're going to have some weapons to help combat that. My way too early prediction for the Lions is about an 11-12 win season next year. Who knows? Maybe they go undefeated. We'll deal with that in time. Adding someone like Maxx Crosby, you're probably having to give up some draft capital. I personally don't think it would be multiple first-round picks at this point in his career. I think maybe a second and a third or something around there is my anticipation. You look around the NFL trades last year, did you really see anybody trade for a defensive star and give up 2 or 3 first-round picks? Not that I can think of. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe you would just have to give up 1 first-round pick. So if that holds water, would you give up the 28th overall pick this year to get Maxx Crosby? And maybe you have to kick in something else like a 4th rounder or something like that. Let me know in the comment section. Are you all for Mad Max, or you're saying, hey, I'm done with the story. Let's move on from it. We'll see. All right, you guys have heard me ramble on for probably way too long, and apparently I just got a weather alert, so I thought the bad weather here was about over, but apparently not. All right, let me scroll to the top of the screen, and let's get over to the Duke Crew and see what all you guys have to say. I see I'm about 100 comments back on this, maybe a little bit more, so I'll try to power through these in the next 38 minutes. Bo, good morning, Duke Crew. So many decisions. Woo, you're not wrong, and every decision matters. Rob, greetings, salutations. Coach Dan and Duke Crew, the Lions are the grooviest, Adio, and you are as well, my friend. Hoogadoo, good morning, Duke Crew. If there is truth to this, Hex, yes, get Maxx Crosby, one pride. Yeah, you can check out the story. Like I said, it is from a Raiders reporter, and I get he's got his podcast. I get he's frustrated with his current situation. We'll see what happens. Rob, let's see, music, be groovy and smash the woo button for Coach Dan the Man. Yeah, if you guys can, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the share button, hit all the buttons. Jason, Crosby would crazy scary on our team. I agree with that. I think especially playing in Ford Field, then we'd break with no money to pay anyone else. But seriously, it would be phenomenal. It would be. We do have roughly $60 million in cap. I think a lot of it would come down to how you structure that contract for him, or restructure would probably be a more appropriate way to say it. You're going to have to probably pay, Aiden Hutchinson this upcoming season, probably Jameson Williams as well. So you're going to have to work some things in. The good part is for Goff, his contract, I want to say this upcoming season, it's something stupid, it's like $20 million or something like that. And I wouldn't be surprised with some of Goff's beyond next year contracts if he reworks them to save the team some money. I think Goff understands that this is his opportunity to win the Super Bowl with the Lions. If he goes somewhere else after Detroit, it's probably not a great situation for him. So my thinking is he's at the age, he's made some money as well. He might give up some cash. All right, Jess, greetings, salutations. I read something about this yesterday. Sounds like Mad Max isn't all in on the Raiders anymore. I don't blame him one bit. Me neither, man. They just have not been well run during his tenure there. He's also probably getting to that age. I want to say he's, 27? Don't hold me to that. I don't know offhand. It sounds about right. Where he's probably starting to think, I've got about 5 or so years left here as a premium player. I need to do something with that. Otherwise, my career's about done. Marcus, good morning. Dan and Duke Crew, back at you. I got a feeling something big is going to happen this offseason that will take the Lions to another level. 12-5 next season. I like the way you are thinking, my friend. 100% there, Marcus. Jameer, greetings and salutations, everyone. Back at you. 5 fingers, Freddy. Morning, all. Him, Hutch, McNeil, Reader. That's a front 4 I can get behind. Yeah, I got to imagine you would love being a linebacker behind that front 4. Detroit D, greetings and salutations. Everyone have a beautiful, blessed day. Go Lions. Same to you, my friend. Stay warm where you're at. Clark, hey, make that trade, exclamation point. Good morning, Shamir, Detroit D, Jason Merritt, and the Duke Crew. Same to you, my friend. Detroit D, whoever becomes the next DC better know how to defend the RPO. I agree with that. all the quarterbacks left in the playoffs can make plays with their legs as well as their arms. Just saying, yeah, I agree. It's a growing development in the NFL. Somebody's going to figure out something good with it, and I would assume you will replicate it or copy it here in Detroit. Big Eddie, greetings and salutations. So what would it cost to acquire him? It's my opinion, Eddie. I don't know this, but you're probably looking at something like the Lions would give up a second and third round pick, maybe something like a fifth rounder as a kicker. In return, they would get maybe like the Raiders, fifth, sixth, and seventh or something, something like that. Marcus, I don't think Crosby trade will happen because he would be expensive and Holmes will not give up those picks. No, we all get it. Holmes loves those picks. So that would be the one thing. Does this mean that Brad Holmes feels like, hey, we got to get this thing done now? I don't know. We'll see. Trey, what's good, everyone? Question mark. I like our secondary D line is where we have to improve. If the cost is right, I would look into it. Agreed with that. The one thing I would say for Detroit is it does seem like Brad Holmes has really studied, say, the Baltimore Ravens, the Green Bay Packers, and how they maintain their franchises. If you remember, these guys don't typically make big trades. They rely on the scouting department to make good calls on who to assign and who to acquire. So it's my anticipation that's ultimately where the Lions go with things. But you know what? I've been wrong before. Jameer, let's get this team upgraded. Good morning at Clark. Good morning to you both. Tori, Marcus agreed. Holmes doesn't like to overspend. I see something about this. I've seen something about this yesterday. Yes, Crosby wants out. It sounds like, just not sure we'd be willing to pay. And that could be what it comes down to at the end of the day. And he didn't say, "Hey, I want to be a Lion." You could just see his frustration is considering being out of the Raiders. Marcus, I would focus on DC first before I would acquire Crosby. He'll definitely cost a minimum of 2 first rounders. We'll see. And yeah, I would say we can't do trades, or in the league can't do any official trades until the start of the next season. So you got to get past the Super Bowl. My guess is we will have a new OC in DC within a week. I don't think it's going to drag out beyond the Super Bowl. France, good morning. Sad to see Glenn depart, but now we have a third-round selection this year. Yes, this year and in 2026. So, hey, you wish him well. He's done nothing. Him and Ben Johnson have done nothing but great things for Detroit. We can all say, hey, Ben Johnson shouldn't have went to the Bears, but at the end of the day, I think most fans are at least happy for the fact that Lions now have such high-quality coaches that they're getting head coaching jobs. All right, 70, good morning, boys. Exclamation point. If we feel Maxx can help us, go get him. I just would not give up 2 first-round picks for him, in your opinion. No, I agree with you there. Marcus, I see the Lions signing Khalil Mack before I see them trade for Crosby. Not a Holmes-type move. That's actually not a bad thought. Whether or not Mack has any gas left in the tank, I don't know, though, man. I would have some questions, but let's see what Brad Holmes has to say. Troy D, I would give up 2 first-round picks because they would be the 32nd and 31st picks, which means we won or made the Super Bowl. I see what you're saying there, and yes, you're basically giving up 2 second-round picks in all essence. I would say this, D, if we do that, I would say, hey, we'll give you those 2 first-round picks, but I want like your 4th-round picks in return. That way we keep the same amount of draft picks in each draft. Marcus, I think Holmes will sign DeMarcus Lawrence this offseason. Mark your words. Words are marked, my friend. I will mark them on down. Steve, greetings, salutations, Coach Dan and the Mountain Dew crew. I agree with Marcus. That is not a Brad Holmes type of move, and I get 100% sure that Crosby would be a good fit here. Yes, agreed with that on both points. John, good morning, Coach and crew. Now, crew, yes, now is the time to make a deal if it works for us too. We are at a crossroads, I think, but we need a change. We missed 2 good chances. We did, but you know what? Doesn't mean the 3rd time isn't the charm. Susan, I'd be okay with that. Marcus, Moonscar, what up, Duke crew starting lineup? Exclamation point. Happy Thursday, everyone. $67 million in cap space and 51 players already signed. Yes, we've got some guys on contract, and yes, we've got some flexibility. I think those will be spending some of that, whether it's on their own players or to acquire other players this offseason. Quentin, greetings, salutations. Now I'm good. Max keeps changing his tune. Move on, I say. Okay, we'll do that. Marcus, Holmes loves rookie contracts. Doesn't every GM. Plus, he needs to extend Hutchinson and JMO, the end zone love maker. Williams, yes, indeed. And I think we'll probably get closer we get to the season. I'm anticipating both guys probably getting an opportunity to sign. So small. Our defense front would be lights out if this happens. I would agree with that. JK, get Cohen at the draft because Hutch is due for a payday soon. Can't pay everyone else big cash if you pay both defensive ends house cash, in your opinion. No, I agree. That would be one of the challenges they face. Hold on, Force. Hit that like and subscribe button, people. I'll hit them, and hopefully everybody else will too. Marcus, I would rather sign CD3 and sign DeMarcus Lawrence as a free agent. Maybe that's what they'll do. I would have no worries about that. I would say this. I would move Carlton Davis III to basically Iffy's spot in the lineup. That's something I would look to do next year. I see Henry. Good morning, Coach Dan and Duke Crew. What a team. What a podcast. Thank you for that. What a day to be a Lions fan. Let's go, Lions. I like the way you're thinking, and good to see you as always, Henry. Man Bear, good morning, Dana Rue, Scooby-Doo Crew. Have a fantastic day. Same to you, my friend. JK1, Marcus, I would re-sign Iggy to a team-friendly deal. It would have to be that, I would say. We'll see what they do, though. Henry Moore heading out to Battle Creek for a doctor's appointment at the VA. Have a great day all. See you on the next Lions Talk Live. Have a good day at the VA, my friend. Hopefully all goes well. John Holmes' job is getting harder now. We don't need everything. We need pretty good. All right, I'll go with that. Pat Rock, good morning, Duke Crew. Same to you. Marcus, I got a good feeling we are going to release Reader and draft or sign another defensive tackle. You know, there was some speculation about that this week. We'll see what shakes out. Jason, question is what would they have to give up to get Crosby? We'll find out. I know the speculation on this is going to be all over the place, Jason. So you've heard my thoughts probably already this morning. Southwest Lion, good morning all. Best of luck to AG. I hope the Lions interview candidates outside of the organization for defense coordinator. Crazy as it sounds, they should talk to Matt Eberflus. I think as a defense coordinator, he would be very good. You know, wouldn't that be something if Ben Johnson goes to the Bears and then Eberflus to the Lions? But I agree, he's pretty decent. And Dave, I wonder what all moves Holmes is looking at doing. We're going to find out. This will be a big offseason for the Lions. I suspect he's going to be doing a lot of Scooby-Dooing on this. Johnny L., good morning to all of you. Same to you. Southwest Lion. Now for OC, I think the Lions can find somebody within the current staff. I suspect they've already been developing somebody the last few seasons, knowing that Ben Johnson eventually was going to leave and part ways. 70, good morning, Johnny. Southwest, no more shotgun empty, please. When your quarterback is not mobile, that is the stupidest formation you could ever possibly use. I have been on record this past season. I was not a fan of it for sure. Benjamin, Lions could probably sign 3 pretty good players for what Crosby wants, and with Holmes' luck, Crosby would go down injured after a couple of snaps. Ain't that something? Marcus, Robert Saleh for defense coordinator? I know there are going to be people campaigning for that. Southwest Line, I'm not down with mortgaging our future for Maxx Crosby. Yeah, I think a lot of people are going to be in the same boat there. Gun Guy, take your pants off. Okay. Trina, good morning, everyone, on this Thursday. You're doing a great job on keeping us updated with the Lions. Can I have a woo, please? Everyone have a safe and blessed day. You want a woo? I'll give you a woo. How about a 1 and a 2 and a 3 as I scroll down on the screen? And there you go. Southwest Green Sanitation, same to you. Hi, Jan Fishing. Good morning. Back at you. Hopefully, good day fishing. Jason, this coming season, fully healthy defense would be a sight to see. I think so. 100% there. Rob, I hear Ben Johnson had to take the tollway to Chicago due to the roadblock set up on 94. Maybe he did. Maybe he took the Amtrak over. J-Mo, good morning, Coach and Duke Crew. Woo! Good to see you, my friend. Been a few days. Mike K, Judas. All right. Dale, great salutations. Hope we pick up Crosby or Garnett and then focus on the cornerbacks. Okay. Well, could be definitely in the plan there, Dale. Southwest, hit them yikes, likes, yikes. There you go. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, por favor. Southwest Lion, Dan, the NFL truly has a blind spot with compensatory picks on coaches and GMs. NFL teams should be compensated for the loss of any coach or front office person who becomes a head coach or GM. Could be what they do, but right now the rules are what the rules are. Derek, the only way the Lions get Max is if he gets injured and sits out for a year. Then Brad may consider picking him up on a park and bin. That would probably be a very Brad Holmes move. Southwest Line, if the NFL wants to encourage more minority hires, give the team hiring a minority head coach, a GM, a compensatory pick. You do get them for the coaches or the head coach. I don't believe you do for the GM spot. Alec, what do you got? Good morning, Coach. Exclamation point. I think this talk about trading for Max needs to stop. Holmes doesn't operate in that manner. If you want Crosby, stick to Madden. Hey, that's not a bad idea with Madden. I do like Madden. Let's see, Mike D. Good morning, Dan, brother. Back at you. Hopefully it's a great day there, Mike. Jay, what do you got? Good morning, Dan. Exclamation point. I'm Ben Johnson's press conference. He said he heard something during exit interviews that contributed to him taking the Bears job so quickly. Did you hear that? What could it be? I have not heard anything about that specifically, so I'll have to look into that, and I'll check into that, Jay. Alan, Ben Johnson will fail. He is not a leader. The offensive genius is really Dan Campbell. He has always pulled the trigger strings of Ben Johnson. I'm down with that. And yes, he did call some plays that first year when they both teamed up. Aaron Glenn is a leader and a hell of a man. He's going to be great. I think so, man. Why he's pretty quiet, at least what we get to see, I do think his players love him. I think he's can be very motivational. I do have some questions about Ben Johnson's motivation. I just don't know if that's his wheelhouse as much. Doesn't mean he can't be successful. I just hope he falls on his face, though, as a Bears coach. JK, Joe Milton for backup quarterback in exchange for Hooker. Some beat writer said, yeah, I did see a couple things about that, JK. Mike D, Super Bowl, that is our goal this year. Southwest Lion, I like Kelvin Shepard, and I think he should be considered for defense corner, but the Lions need to do their due diligence and an interview outside of the organization for DC. I agree with that. Paid Banks, we win hands down without injuries. I think so too. If we didn't have all the injuries, like if it was just one or two injuries, I think we win it. But unfortunately, we had 89.732 rounded up to the nearest tenth of a decimal point injuries. Let's see, OG Zadie, I think Super Bowl, but a loss. Okay, I'll go with that. Bo, Super Bowl. Byron, we definitely would have won the Super Bowl with a healthy Lions defense and offense. I agree with you 100% there, my friend. Rob, ownership, getting aggressive is what it takes to achieve sustained success. I worked for the Red Wings. It worked for the Red Wings indeed. It did for a while. Let's see, Moonscar, we would have gone to the Super Bowl. Then anything could happen. Even with a lesser talented defense, we had the biggest point differential. We did indeed. Shah G, what do you got? Now we had a chance to go all in at the trade deadline. We made a mid-level move. We did indeed. Trina, they would have won it all this year. We had everyone playing. Yeah, if we had everyone playing, we would have won it all. I agree. Southwest, definitely Lions win the Super Bowl if they didn't have as many injuries as they had on defense. I said it before, there's an element of luck to winning the Super Bowl, and injuries are a big part of it. I 1,000% agree with that. Yeah, if the injuries don't happen, I think we're all on the same page there. Earl, Lions need more depth in key positions with proven talent. Maybe they'll try to address that this year. If your goal is not the Super Bowl, then you have the wrong goal. I'd say for this team, especially this franchise at this point in our elevation up the ranks, yeah, the Super Bowl's got to be it. Southwest, Errol Campbell, without a doubt, they need more talent depth. Yeah, keep adding, keep making the team stronger. Sean, we need to be honest and not revisionist history. We knew the defense was banged up, yet we made one move to help. You're not wrong there. They did sign a gajillion people in free agency or from other people's practice squads. Not all the moves really panned out, though, unfortunately. JD Tanner, OC, to run MCDC offense. Dennis Allen, DC. Yeah, I want to say Dennis Allen, although I don't know if it's official. I want to say that Ben Johnson, unfortunately, was talking to him to be his defensive coordinator while he was still here in Detroit getting ready for the playoff game. Derek, it blows my mind that we're not hearing anything about coaching interviews for the Lions. My suspicion is that's all starting to happen now that the guys have officially gone on to take their other jobs. We'll probably know something in the next 48 hours about people starting to interview. Rob, the Tigers didn't get their World Series with Mike Ilitch, but did have a couple appearances in consecutive division titles. Baseball is a different sport. It isn't a different sport. Hoodscar, how about so many of our coaches being sought after and this team didn't make the conference championship? This is true. I do think there was a lot of distraction, unfortunately, for Ben Johnson, for Aaron Glenn. And I'm not here to say it's right or wrong or indifferent, but I do think when you watch some things, I do think the team could have been prepared better. I do think those guys made business decisions on their individual careers that affected the team. That's my opinion. I hope I'm wrong. It's just my opinion. JK, no Super Bowl yet. Got to see how they build the roster this offseason. Agreed. Motown Mets, 2 third-round picks. First win, AG got us. All right, fair enough. Roland made, if we get a rookie OC, we need a veteran DC. We will need to rely on our defense. Can't have 2 rookie coordinators. I'd say, yeah, that's probably why he's thinking there. Jim Reaver, what up, coach and crew? What up to you, man, my friend? Hopefully you're having a good day. Southwest, Derek, I hear you, but Dan Campbell did say he's not in a mad rush to fill the positions. I agree on the idea of Haste makes waste. On the other hand, they need to be interviewing folks. Yes, agreed. Jason, the quote, in it to win it, quote, end attitude from Sheila is fantastic news. The window of opportunity is now, otherwise knows as the, woo, yeah, I think she's going to be, it sounds like, according to the reports from the Free Press, she's going to be pretty much, hey, whatever you guys need to do, go do it. Let's go get this thing done. Matt, why do we get 2 picks with AG but not Ben Johnson? Is it really because yes, correct. Earl, Don Shula left Detroit. The rest is history. This is true. Good call there, Earl. OG, Arnold is top 10 for sure. Yeah, I think he's going to be, right around that area. I hope he's number 1 personally, but realistically speaking, I think he's going to be right around there. Yes, I agree there, Mike. Good call, both of you. Moonscar, by the way, if we could have hosted the NFC Championship, cheapest tickets were $1,300. In Philly, it's $600. AFC is $250 today. Okay. Hey, quite a difference, ain't it? Mark, I will sit back and trust Brandon Dame for future coaches and drafts. Okay. Let's see. Thanks for that, Mark. Southwest, he should be at least top 15. Yeah, I think we're all on the same page there. Byron, Arnold going to be a top 15 corner. Thank you for that. Courtney, good luck, New York AG. Say hi to my cousin, former linebacker, Greg Buttle, broadcaster. Okay. And I'll pass that along. JK, window is slim, and it always is, man, and it's shady. Moonscar, Terry Fair was too short. Yeah, hard to believe they passed on Randy Moss to take Terry Fair, but hey, that is old school Lions stuff. Derek, yes, Southwest Lion, I would hate for them to wait too long and miss out on a good coach. Correct. I don't think they're going to wait too long, but I've been wrong before. Ken, coordinator announced today or tomorrow? Probably within the next week, it would be my guess, Ken. Southwest, I hope you're right about Terry and Arnold. I certainly think the motivation is there, but from a technical standpoint, I think Quinn Mitchell is a much more polished and currently better cornerback. Yeah, and the dude's got some wheels too, but I think Arnold's going to be good. I think he's already good. I just think he's going to be better in time. Rob, Ben Johnson is no Ditka. Probably not. Southwest, I think Hank Fraley would stay here, but only if the Lions made him OC. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Shaw, we cannot lose Kelvin. No, I like Kelvin. And like I said, I think if you don't want to lose them both, you're going to have to promote them both to bigger opportunities in their coaching careers. The other side of that, know that if they have a lot of success in 1 or 2 seasons, they're probably also gone. Kim, for those of you that are doom and gloom, go back and look at your comments last year. This is a building process with a strong foundation. I'll go with that, Kim. Good call. Southwest, I don't see Shepard going to the Jets. I think Aaron Glenn is probably going to hire Steve Wilkes. Could be. Mark, I agree. No injuries, and we are in the show and have a chance. The officials still seem to make it easy for the Chiefs to win. Man, there are a whole lot of people agreeing with you there on that, Mark. Southwest, the Lions would do great in the draft. First thing is get the best coordinators, then focus on getting everyone healthy and make a big trade, make a free agent move in a big way. Yeah, it could be exactly where they go. JK, Teddy Bridgewater for a temporary OC. Use MCDC to call plays also. Could be. Brian Thomas, who would you rather have, Max or Miles? If it was me, Myles Garrett all day. Something against Maxx Crosby. I just think he's great at getting to the quarterback. I think he's he's better than average. He's pretty good, whatever you want to say, in the run game. I think Myles Garrett is pretty good at the run game and very good at getting to the quarterback. Just based on what we've done in the past, and again, Aaron Glenn's not here anymore. Myles Garrett seems like the more ideal fit, but I would also say this. You're splitting hairs with both of them. Both of them, I mean, I wouldn't kick either one of them out of the door. Either one of them want to come here, both of them want to come here, man, sign them on up. You can always find a way to use the talent. Miles, great salutations, Coach and Crew. Sheila is serious and has led the way since taking over. Yay, Sheila. Woo! Yes, she has, my friend. Southwest, my biggest question for Shepard. What innovation can you bring to the defense to stop offenses with mobile quarterbacks like Washington, Buffalo, Chicago, now that they have Ben Johnson set? We'll find out. Mike, why? All right. Jogs, why? Southwest, I wonder if the Jets would make a trade with the Lions for Hendon Hooker. Ooh, that's an idea. Mike D, yes, I think Mad Max would come home to Detroit if the money would be good. Oh, go with that. JK, nah. Marcus, no. Patrick, I don't see Hank being OC quietly, but would hate to lose Kelvin. I also, at this point, do not see AG as the type of person to try to steal pieces from the Lions like that trader Ben Johnson is. You could be onto something there, Patrick. There could be something to that. Marine, good morning. Exclamation point. I thought that guy who went to Chicago told MCDC he wouldn't try to lure any of the coaches. Question mark. If true, he really is a snake. Hey, unfortunately, it happens in coaching a lot. I think it's going to happen to some degree if he can give people a promotion, basically. Southwest, Teddy, the backup quarterback, no way gonna be offense coordinator. Correct? Let's see. Southwest, Crosby is a great player, but I just hate the idea of giving up multiple assets for one player who is an injury away from making it a really bad deal. I'll go with that 100%. Matt, I don't see us spending much on free agents this offseason. We'll be focusing on re-signing our guys, and that's going to take most of the cap. All right, okay. Moonscar, no on Crosby. Matt, the max window closed last year. Too many guys to re-sign, not enough cap available for a guy like him. Okay. OG, let's see. I agree on no max. Hookadoo, morning, Miles Burger. Yep, as an owner, she has done some really done great things for the Lions. Yes, she has, 100%. Get Miles Garrett. I'd be okay with that, Southwest. Mike, I need a real game changer. Getting someone like that, if we can get that person, that would be great for us. Derek Max is a no-go. Okay. Southwest, anyone who is in the current offensive staff who wants to be an OC going to Chicago will stunt their growth. Ben Johnson is going to be calling plays. Correct. I would agree with that. I don't think he's going to hand off the baton and let somebody else do it. I think he's going to do it. So whoever the OC is there is kind of, it's kind of more of a title than anything else. Ryan Roberts solid for DC, and Richie Incognito for offensive line coach. Maybe that's what they'll do. Hoonscar, Crosby cap hit is still too high, so I don't know how the Raiders could move him. That I don't know either, my friend. Patrick, I would not rule out Bridgewater being considered for a candidate for OC. Most great OCs were previous quarterbacks. Fair enough. Southwest solid is either going to be the Jacksonville, man, I can't talk, job, or likely back to the 49ers as defensive coordinator. Mike D, what would you think of Max, Miles, and JJ out of retirement to the Lions if they want to build our defense? Man, go for it. Although, if that happens, man, we probably all need to look for an asteroid coming down to end life on planet Earth. Let's see, Keith, greetings, salutations. BJ has not taken anyone yet. I listened to his press conference yesterday as he is not a head coach material. Enjoy Chicago. Woo! Yeah, hopefully he gets some good deep dish pizza before he departs ways. Derek, an open checkbook does not change the salary cap. It's not baseball. No, it's not. It's not. But the fact that she's willing to throw out money to do whatever you want, hire this person as DC, OC, or whatever, I think that helps. Earl, the Lions defense must pressure the opposing quarterback. Adding another edge rusher is needed. I agree with you there. Bruce F., no. Southwest, Jacksonville Jaguars have to be one of the dumbest organizations in professional sports. And for losing the opportunity to get Ben Johnson, now they fire Drake Bell, late dollars short. I'll go with that. Mark, being a football coach for more than 30 years and most of them in the defensive side of the ball, I totally agree that Arnold could be the best cornerback one soon. Yeah, I think that's part of their plans going forward. Paid Banks, what do you got? I say go all in. Yes, if we can get Max, make it happen ASAP. All right. Keith, greetings, salutations, Mad Max. Yes, exclamation point. All at all costs. Woo! And back at you. Good morning to you, Keith. Southwest, we get an extra pick for AG so we can make a power move. I like Miles, and he doesn't get hurt. Yeah, I like Miles Garrett too, man. He's a big body, and he's very good in both ends. Not that Mad Max isn't. Like I said, I think you're splitting hairs on both of them. But if I had to pick one or the other, that's probably where I would go. JK, Hexna. Okay, I'll go with Hexna. Cody, no way we give up on a potential superstar at number 28 for someone who may or not help us. Brad Holmes is the best GM, so I think he'll make the wisest choice. I'm down with that. Cody, wise thinking there. Patrick, not holding out for Max. No, neither would I, man. If it happens, it happens. Smith will be a great piece on the other side of Hutch as a lot cheaper price, only at the right price. Okay. Kim, trading for Max depends on who is available in the draft. One thing we know, the Lions scouting is pretty dang good. Yes, it is indeed, and it has proven itself that way. Good thinking there, Kim. Joe's, what do you got? Yeah, exclamation point. Let's see what happens. I guess let's see what Max does. I agree with that. Rob, shout out to the Pistons moving into the 6th seed in the East last night. They won handily. Yeah, they're moving on up. Them and the Red Wings seem to be doing pretty well. And then again, of course, the Tigers did pretty well, etc. Justin, exactly 27. Southwest, I think the Lions can win the Super Bowl with Jared Goff, but they need to replenish the offensive line. Jared needs to do everything he can the offseason to improve his athleticism. Yeah, I think the plans for the future of the offensive line began, last year, or maybe you could say with Sorsdale 2 seasons ago. JK Maxx had a podcast. He just wants public attention, but then again, I think he's a little serious. Yeah, I think it's probably a little bit of both. I think you're spot on there, JK. OG 14-3 next year. Go Lions. Woo! And I'll go with that, my friend. Good call there. Jerome, I can't blame Goff, but let's be real. He started the press to press because of the defense. You don't want to live life having to outscore everyone. You want to win with both sides of the ball being balanced. I agree with that. I think he did press because of the defense. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. Southwest, Jerome Davis, the Lions turned the ball over 4 times. Don't put it all on Jared Goff. Ben Johnson got cute for school with some of his calls. Yeah, I think we're always going to debate that 3rd and 1 or 3rd and 2, whatever it is, empty backfield. The J-Mo passed on the sidelines. And it is what it is. Donkey Kong Super Bowl or bust. I like the way you're thinking. Good to see you, my friend. Lions bad guy. Whatever we end up doing in the offseason, I'll definitely help the roster and help us be better as players and put a unit, and it's one team addition and addition by subtraction. Okay? Ryan, the Mad Max window has been closed. He doesn't know what he wants. That's kind of where I'm at with it. One day he says one thing, one day he says another thing. It's like I know some of you guys said he's got a podcast. Maybe he's just doing it for views. Maybe that's possible. Southwest Lion, my upset about Ben Johnson going to the Bears, he is diminished significantly. Let's face it, Caleb Williams could become a franchise quarterback with better offensive line. I'll go with that. Moonscar, you do everything you can. Lions bad guy. We're relying on you to get us over the top. I'll go with that. Derek, we just seen that bust. Now it's time for the Super Bowl. I concur. NV, both coordinators called the game like they already had a foot out the door. It's pathetic. I'm glad they're gone. There could be more and more evidence to support that NV, unfortunately. Southwest, I'm not giving up 2 first-round picks unless it's Patrick Mahomes. I'll go with that. Southwest, let's see. NV starting next year, the NFL needs to prohibit head coach interviews until the season is completely over. They may have lost the Washington anyways, but it was a huge distraction. I'll go with that. And the one thing I would say is some of it comes down to the individual coach. If you guys recall, the Washington OC had somebody request interviews for him to be their head coach. He turned it down, said, "Nah, I'm not doing that to this team until the season's over." So good for him. It may have cost him a head coaching job, but good for him for showing the loyalty. Southwest Lion, okay, Moonscar sounds good. Eddie's Fish, I would like to see Detroit bring in a young free agent defense end who I would like to see the Lions bring in a defense coordinator with more coaching experience, not a you coach with no defensive experience. I'm down with that. Lions bad guy, that was the text to talk, Moonscar. I just saw that, laughing out loud. Thank you for pointing that out. It happens, man. TaylorMade, the end zone love maker. Yes, indeed. Southwest Line. The Lions interviewed Dennis Allen and Matt Eberflus for defense corner. Yeah, if it was me between them both, I think you'd be getting 2 guys with proven experience. I would not be mad at all about Robert Saleh. We'll see what they ultimately choose to do. Lions bad guy, it was supposed to say whenever we can do in the offseason, it will definitely help us. Definitely help us. Laughing out loud. I gotcha. Eddie's Fish, we need to draft the players that meet our identity as team. Yeah, I think they're going to stay focused on that for sure, Eddie. Let's see, Michael, good morning, Dan. Good morning, you. Let's see, bad man. The Rams mortgaged their future and are still doing good, if you ask me. Yeah, their scouting department has really helped them out exponentially. What they did in the last year's draft, man, I mean, they hit on everything. Ryan, a lot of news will be coming out this offseason from Lions Talk Live. It will be busy. I try to do what I can to help keep you guys in the know, the how, and and try to make things good for you guys. Hookadoo Eberflus is hometown is Toledo. He went to the same high school as me, laughing out loud. Hey, if he was in Detroit, you wouldn't have far to go to get home. Lions bad guy, Moonscar. If I had it my way, the first person would be Saleh. Isaiah Simmons, excuse me. Sadly, I can't help them get better, laughing out loud, but I can bring in players in laughing out loud. I wish. Okay. Badman, Rams Super Bowl, 1 down year, 2 playoff appearances. You're not wrong. They have done a great job with their drafts. Miles Marker, Hookadoo, good morning, Grit. Man, any word on Trey Henderson? None that I have heard, at least. None that I can say. Okay, top of the morning, Miles Meyer, Johnny Gas. Good morning, Dan and crew. Exclamation point. Hope everyone is doing well since the loss. Positive things ahead. I agree with that. You have your 24-hour, 48-hour window to get upset, get over things. But you know what? It's time to move forward and on to the next play. Badman, skip the picks. Get Myles Garrett. He's better than Crosby. I'll go with that. Detroit Lions, bad guy. What free agents have injury history who are the top 3? Would those be in the first that we go after? If they have an injury history, we all probably get it. Brad Holmes is probably going after him. Shaft, if my aunt had, okay, yep. Munzgar, the rule of compensatory third-round picks in the next 2 drafts if you hire a minority and from other teams. And for not head coach and GM only. Women of any race are also considered a minority in this case. Hey, I didn't know that part about the women aspect of things, so thank you for that. Jay, delusional. Goff, solid, sold that game. All of those what if, okay? JK, hopefully Bills beat KC regardless how fake it gets, all right? Eddie, I would like to see the Rooney Rule get overhauled because it is causing good minority coaches to get head coaching jobs. You can't not force on a team. I think Hendon Hooker as Lions quarterback. Okay. We'll see what they do at quarterback. Max, let's see, Mad Max, what do you got? Why didn't the guy who hit Goff get fined and suspended? That's a great question because obviously they're all aware about it. They've all seen it. Why hasn't something happened? That I don't know. Don, so Bears are interviewing ex-Lions coach Aubrey Pleasant for defense coordinator. Could the Dennis Allen be to Chicago be off because Dan Campbell made the call to offer him defense coordinator job? Could be. That I don't know, Don. We'll find out. Like I said, I think we'll get more information in the next 48 hours. Southwest Dan, just to clarify an earlier comment, I'm saying if the NFL wants more minority hires as head coach and GMs, give a team hiring a minority coach / GM a compensatory pick. I think, that's. I know they do with the head coaches. The GMs, I don't believe they do, but I get what you're saying. Yes, correct. Thomas, face it, y'all. You problem all year with the D. Without Ben, our O will be fine. MCDC could take over. I think the offense is gonna be pretty dang good still. Here's one thing I would say: coaches help augment the talent you have. Lions clearly have a ton of talent on offense. I think whoever comes in, it's going to be hard for them to mess it up, especially if they're an experienced person. I think the Lions are going to do pretty well offensively next year. Ben Johnson, no Ben Johnson. Southwest, Don Burr, I think you're on point. It'd be fine with Dennis Allen as defense coordinator. Okay. Keith, good morning. Trust MCDC to build a great defense. Shepard will be our DC. The OC will be higher of the outside of the team. Lions won pride, 13-4, all the way to the Super Bowl. Woo! I'll go with all that, Keith. Eddie's Fish, we have a good quarterback room, and we have Jake from at quarterback. Yes, we do. Great Lakes, feels like it's been a minute, man. Good to see you. Good morning, coach and crew, exclamation point. We would really have to get skinny salary-wise in other areas to afford Crosby. But the window is the next 2 to 3 years for sure. Have a good day. Do you think Barnes and Davis stay? I think there's a chance. Davis, Barnes, I'm not so sure, man. I just think for what he does, I like him. I just think to give him a big contract at least is something I don't see. Don Southwest Line, I would love it. Bad man, we need talent. Grit won't be enough to win a Super Bowl. We need game changers. Okay. Jay, Ben Johnson carried our offense. All right, we'll go with that. Thomas, I looked all at this way, losing these coaches. We regress in a way, not worried at all. Okay, Moraine, regarding coaches, heard this the other day. Better poached than fired. I concur. Salos Don Bird, Dennis Allen would be an excellent choice for sure. Ben Johnson didn't carry this offense. He was just a key part. I'll go with that. Jay, we're going to be stuffed without Ben Johnson. I disagree, but I mean, you can have your own opinion for sure, man. Thomas, I'm not worried. I have faith MCDC and Brad will get it. Will be going to be fine. I'll agree with that. Great Lakes, I think he's done coaching, but man, would be great to Rex Ryan be. He did interview for the Jets job, so maybe he wants to come back. I think it would be Robert Saleh, though. I'd take Robert Saleh. Let's see. Alex, they should hire Derek from the Lions Syndicate as GM. Seems to know more than Brad Holmes. Just saying, I think injuries played into the role as the Lions' demise. Yeah, injuries did help turn things around for us. Unfortunately, not in a good way. Give Arnold a couple more seasons. He'll be a Pro Bowler. Agreed. Okay. Thomas, Unless he doesn't want it, our deep coordinator, give it to Chris Spielman or Wink Martindale from Michigan. Yeah, I wonder if Chris Spielman would want that. I think he wants to be a front office person, but I could be wrong. Jay, our offense is going to be garbage without Ben. I disagree, man, but I get that's clearly your thought. Don, people saying Ben Johnson carried this offense. I'm just saying Brad Holmes does all the scouting, film breakdown, etc. Our scouting department does a lot of dirty work for Brad. I agree with that fully, 100%. As a scout, I fully agree. Dale, whoever they go for with the coordinators, they have to fit our culture. Yeah, I think they're going to pay attention to that. All right, guys, I'm in overtime, so let me just kind of power through, get some people on who haven't been on as much. Dale, Rob Bryant, could be. Thomas, I believe a Stroud can be healthy and stay healthy. He will be fine. My worry is Broderick Martin, 2 years in, kid can't even scratch the surface. I get you, man, but keep in mind also Derek Barnes did the same thing where he didn't really play his first 2 years. Same with Iffy Melifano. Year 3, they both broke out. Deion, what do you got? I see in an interview with Max where he mentioned Pat O'Connor, who he played with in college. He also mentioned Meek in his interview, so both of them said he needs experience playing for defense coordinator. Okay, Brian, good morning, everyone. I must disagree about Arnold. I like him, but he's still better than average, maybe. Dude is not got no interceptions, not even close. No, to one. So for me, he'll have to huge strides forward. Yeah, let's see if he does make some strides forward. That's Rakestraw. Okay. Brad Holmes is the reason we can't get over the hump. All right. Let's see. A couple more here. Dr. Detroit, laughing out loud. Anyone complaining on what Max voiced is silly as hex. I'll go with that. Cost. All right. Chuck, we are adding one of the best defensive players in the league to our team next year. Hutch is coming. Yes, he is coming. Let's see here. Batman not going to win with Goff. Okay, Phil, good morning. Good morning, Phil. Dr. Drake, Goff is fine. All right, a few more here, and then I'm probably out of here. Let's see, Rob, the purpose of compensating the team they came from is to encourage teams to groom them for that position. All right, I'll go with that. Let's see, a few more here. Shaft, Drew Brees has been in the Lions' last 2 games on their side. Drew Brees will be the next OC. I'll go with that. Eddie Fish, Mark Brunell as OC. I wonder if that's something they try to throw at him to get him. He was very close, as we all know, with Ben Johnson. Southwest, I don't think Mark Brunell wants to be an OC. Okay, well, rule that out then. Jay about to disappear. Okay, let's see. Jay, we all do. Okay, something going on with Jay then. All right, let's see. Brian Santrilli from Washington Commanders had a few picks as a rookie. Arnold, none. That says something to me. Just saying. Okay, Alan. Lines are going to be promote from within. This is what great companies do as a motivation to produce. You produce from your to your promote. Scotty Montgomery, offense coordinator. We'll see if that's what they do. See, RB exactly, says Thomas. The non-laughers, Ben was very calculated with what he wants saying, seemed unsure of himself. Yeah, I'd say there's some truth to that. See, note, the internet is weird just because love goofballs don't mean everybody is a gobbler 100%. I'm down with that. See, Jay, South line exactly. Let's see, looking for a few others here. Southwest. Let's see, move on to Great Lakes. I wonder if they will raise the cap again. Probably every season will go up. I don't see that slowing down anytime soon. I've been wrong before. Dale, Goff didn't screw us over. Trader Ben Johnson did. Could be true. Let's see, bad guy. Ben Johnson fits perfectly with the Chicago Bears because he is a gummy bear, not a grizzly bear. Open, fierce about him. He's soft, just like a gummy bear. All right, I'll go with that. He's a gummy bear. Facts in 60 seconds. Robert Saleh would be a great pickup for our defense. I agree. I think he'd be nice to have. Patrick, coaches do not affect the cap to my knowledge. No, they do not. Open the checkbook and go get keep the best. Maybe it was time to move on in Sheila's mind. Maybe. C note, any quarterback can throw a lot of short passes and good and look good. That's why everybody was shocked when we went deep into JMO. That's one time. Yes, agreed with that. Thomas, Ben Johnson will be looking for work in 2028. Maybe true. All right, guys, looking for a few more that haven't been on as much, and then we're probably out of here for the day. All right, who hasn't been on? All right, we'll go with Rob Awesome. Let's see, Newsom. I give Johnson 2 plus 3 years. I said even before he went to the Bears, he's a good OC. Just don't think he's head coaching material. All right, there are some people leaning that way. See note, only win that matters is a bowl. That's what they play for. Shake my head. We don't know what that feels like. No, we do not yet. So let's hope that changes next year. Thomas Dale, you nailed it. Fair enough. Let's see. Anybody else? I'm looking. Dale, exactly, Thomas. Okay. Cody, some of you fans act like the players are all leaving and Dan didn't hire his coaches. Laughing out loud. We will be fine. Yeah, I think we'll be fine. We will be fine. Doesn't mean it won't be different, but I think we'll be fine. Big play. Slade never got picks either. He not a ton, no, but I think he became one of the best cornerbacks in the league. Let's see. Byron, Rex Ryan for defense coordinator. We'll see what they do. Brett, happy trails. One pride. Back at you. Damian, every team left in the playoffs has a mobile quarterback, just saying. Yes, there are people noting that for sure. JD, 8 for 137 St. Brown, correct? He did. Cody, no one was shocked. We went deep with JMO. We did it all year long. Okay, Tug Spearman, thanks, Dan. Thumbs up, guys. Yeah, 100%. All right, guys, I'm going to go out of here. Give you about an extra 5 minutes. If you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so, making that march into on 13,000. We're like 70-some subs away. If you would be so kind, hit the thumbs up button, hit the like button, hit all the buttons on your way out. Try to get every video to 200, 300, 400 or more thumbs up or likes. Other than that, take care. Have a fantastic day. Do something kind for somebody you don't know. We'll see you all in the next Lions Talk Live. Take care, everybody. You're still here? What are you doing here? It's over. The show's over. Go home.